So I'm Sherri Sutton, and I'm going to be interviewing Bill Casale. So let's say we just met and we're sitting at a coffee house, or we're doing some sort of interview where we're doing multiple in a setting, or I just met him to interview him. So we'd sit down, I would get the demographics from him, so I've already asked him his working status, and I would go through and answer the questions on the top. And I'm going to say, Bill, do you mind if I type some of your answers while you're speaking?
No, go right ahead.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to ask you these 3 questions for our interview. I very much appreciate you being interviewed. And we're going to take all of this data and we're going to use it so that every voice is heard at the summit in Tampa. So we're looking at collecting 5,000 interviews, and we're going to use this interview data when we're doing the summit. And I've already explained this to you before with my tools of my flyer, but do you have any other questions?
I don't.
Fantastic. So I would like you to think about a time when you felt positively connected to our community. So could you tell me a story of like what was happening or how it made you feel, maybe what role you were playing?
So I guess in 1998, 99, I had just moved here, had 2 little boys, and they were interested in playing football, but their mother didn't want them to play tackle football. So I did some investigation, and I was able to work with the NFL and start a flag football league in Tampa. But then I started thinking about other kids who would probably want to play that wouldn't get an opportunity. So I partnered with the children's home, and I talked to them, and they were able to allow a lot of those kids to come and play. And as a result of that, one of the families that participated in the program with us ended up adopting one of the kids in the program. And I just felt so good about that whole process, and the fact that the community kind of came together and supported the kids, and we had one kid that ended up getting a forever family.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It's a pretty good story.
That is a really good story. I like that. So what are your 3 favorite things about Tampa?
Well, the weather is one really great thing about Tampa. Even the lightning, I like the lightning. The fact that we have a big city feel, but it's also feels like a small town. I can go to places all over Tampa, and I run into people that I know, and it's not like New York or Chicago where you can kind of get lost. It's got a hometown feel to it. And I think that the fact that we're a melting pot, and we have so many different cultures and so many different flavors in our community, that you can experience a lot of different things, from music to restaurants and food, and just get to know people from a lot of different diverse backgrounds. It's a really kind of cool place to live.
Well, that's great. Anything else you'd like to add to that?
No, I think that's it.
All right, so my next question, I want to try to take you future forward a little bit. So imagine it's 2030, and you're just 10 years forward. If you can just kind of think about that. And we're in Tampa, and people are describing Tampa, they're using phrases like the coolest or hottest place to be, or maybe they're saying the greatest place to live. What do you think's happened in Tampa that are causing people to say that about our city? And what do you think they're describing? Like, what's so hot and cool and great about Tampa?
I think we probably have solved some of our transportation issues and the ability for people to move around freely. And we've also solved some of the housing issues, so people don't have to live so far away from the heart of the city, or people who can't afford housing can find housing that fits their needs. And I come from a neighborhood in New York where we walk to the grocery store, we walk to the barber shop, we walk to restaurants. Everything was really around the corner, and we're kind of really spread out. If we could solve our transportation and housing issues to where we felt more like a community and could interact more together, instead of everybody kind of being in their suburban fortresses, I think that would make Tampa a really cool place to live.
So I That's really interesting. So where would you see like these walkable communities that you describe?
There's a lot of area that's not developed or could be redeveloped in Tampa, especially near downtown. And this whole down Mabry corridor, there's a lot of opportunity there. I also think there's probably things that haven't even been invented yet as far as transportation goes. You know, I know a lot of people, we couldn't have a subway here, I don't think, because of our water table, but certainly monorails. I mean, with what they're doing with cars today, who knows, we may even have flying cars by then. You know, I just saw something today about The Simpsons, how they predict the future. I maybe watch a few of those episodes and then I'll know what Tampa's gonna look like in 20 years.
And do you think that Tampa's going to be the hot, cool place to be?
I definitely do. I made it my home. I've been here for 20 years and hope to be here, 30 or 40 more if I'm lucky.
All right, fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to add or anything else that you want me to include as part of our interview?
No, you'll be using this information? How?
So we're going to take this information and aggregate it, so your name won't be associated with it, but I will be able to show from the demographics of who I've interviewed. So I'll have like an aggregate circle that'll just show these are all the different voices that we've put here. So that's why I asked you those questions at the beginning of the interview. And then this information will be put together and themed. So what we're looking for is what are the themes that are coming out through all of the different interviews, and we're making sure that those are brought to the summit as well.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.